Hi guys, it's Stacey here from tycoonfactory.com, and I'm going to be answering the question in this video: should I be enrolling in KDP Select? Now, this video is for anybody who's already into Kindle publishing or anybody who's thinking about getting into Kindle publishing. And for those of you that don't know, KDP Select is a program that Amazon run, and you can opt to enroll in it. Now, if you publish on Kindle, it doesn't mean you have to enroll in it. You can still publish on Kindle if you're not involved in KDP Select. And what it is that if a customer on Amazon pays a monthly fee, they can enroll in Kindle Unlimited, which means they can borrow books from publishers that have opted into the KDP Select program, and the publishers get paid a very nominal fee per page read of those books that are borrowed. And basically the fee is very nominal per page, so you're relying on a lot of pages being read. It's less than half a cent a page. Now that could go up, we don't know kind of where we're going to stand in the coming months. But basically, what happened was, when I first joined Kindle, you got paid a download fee every time somebody borrowed a book, and it was $1.40 around about, give or take a few cents, and that was usually what it worked out at. And it was great. It was a massive, a boost to your paid sales. It worked really well. And then there was some people who started to abuse the system a little bit. So they were paying people to download their books for free, because obviously it wasn't costing the customer or anything. So if you had somebody who was enrolled in Kindle Unlimited, they were starting to sell the service of, I'll download your book for $1, say, and the publisher was getting paid $1.40, so it was a profit for them. And so, there was people starting to abuse the system a little bit, and then there was a lot of publishers complaining that if they had really long books or really high quality books, why is it that they should get paid $1.40 when you've got somebody who's putting out a really terrible book and they're also getting paid $1.40 for a download? So Amazon kind of listened to this, and they changed their system to the system that it is today, which involves getting paid a per page fee. And it's a very, like I said, it's a very minimal fee. You get paid less than half a cent a page, so you're relying on a quantity game rather than the actual fee that you get. And so there's people who've got kind of really long books who did really well out of this. Some of them were getting paid more than the $1.40, providing it was a good quality book and people were reading to the end. Because obviously you get some people who'll download a book, particularly if they haven't paid for it, and they might read the first couple of chapters and then just sort of give up on it, and that's quite common. So it's not to say that if you've got a really long book that you're guaranteed to sort of get anywhere with this. But then what people started doing is there was a few publishers that kind of packed in a whole load of bonus material at the end of the book. So what they had was, they had their book, which might have been, 10,000 words, if it was a short book, and they would put in like 30 or 40 free bonus books, and they would then include a link from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, and said basically, get a free gift by going to the end of the book via this link, and they would be credited for every page in between. So that all of a sudden there was people making like huge sums of money from these books, and Amazon kind of frowned upon that hugely. And basically they started to kind of clamp down on it a bit, and many accounts who were using this hyperlink to the end of the book method was terminated. So there's a lot of people lost a lot of income. There was a lot of books, like accounts completely terminated. It was just bedlam for a very short space of time. And it didn't take Amazon very long to click onto this whole method. And so it makes me very wary about any new kind of methods that come around. I tend to sort of sit back for a while and watch what's happening before I implement any new methods that come in, because it's just not worth losing your account over. So the new question that's kind of on everybody's lips is whether it's worth enrolling in KDP Select anymore. Because when you enroll in KDP Select, you are giving your book to Amazon, in the sense that you're not given the rights to Amazon, but they stop you from publishing on other platforms. You can't publish on Barnes and Noble, for example, if you enroll in the KDP Select program. So it's almost like a balance. Is it worth losing out on those extra sales you could get from those other platforms, if you're getting the money from KDP Select, basically? And it's really difficult to judge how much you get per book with KDP Select, because it's just really difficult to, it obviously varies per page, per length of book, you know, I mean, there's a lot of factors that can affect that, so it's really difficult to say you're going to get this much per book per month. Or even an estimate, whereas previously when it was on the old system you knew it was going to be around about $1.40, but this just varies with the length of the book, how far through the reader reads. You know, if your book's not good quality enough and they stop reading partway through, or they get bored of the book, you're going to lose readers partway through the book and you're not going to get credited for the whole book. So it's really difficult to kind of judge what you would get per book. So in that sense, it's really difficult, but there are some kind of negatives and some benefits, pros and cons to the KDP Select program, and these are what you really need to be looking at as to whether or not you should enroll in it and whether it's right for you. And the fact of the matter is, enrolling in KDP Select's great, but it's not right for everybody. So, you know, it may be that it suits somebody else and it doesn't suit you, and you've got to make that decision based on your own thinking and your own business model. So obviously one of the major cons of KDP Select is if you enroll in it, you aren't supposed to have your book listed for sale anywhere else. So you can't utilise Barnes & Noble and the other kind of online platforms. Now at the moment this isn't too much of a threat, because Amazon Kindle is by far the biggest ebook platform. So you're not kind of going to lose out hugely on this, but if you're not getting very many book borrows, then you might be losing out on some sales there, you know. So it's kind of trying to find a balance. And my suggestion for this would be to test a couple of books. So take a book that you've published on Amazon just without enrolling it in KDP Select, so it's just published on Amazon, and then publish it on Barnes and Nobles as well, and just have a test of it and see how much you get for your style of writing, your genre, on the Barnes and Noble platform and on the other platforms. Have a look at that, and then you can kind of make a better decision of whether it's worth enrolling for you or not. The other thing is a lot of people are now kind of turning to their own websites to publish books. So you might kind of have all your books for sale on Amazon, and then you might have a link at the end of your book that says this is my author website, and then you might have other books for sale there. And obviously if you're enrolled in KDP Select, you're not supposed to have your books for sale elsewhere, so it's going to stop you doing this. Now I think long term, having a website and everything is absolutely fantastic, and I would suggest it for everybody, even if it's just a blog to keep up on your news, have links to your Amazon book even. However, if you want to sell directly on your website, what I would suggest doing is taking some time to build up a blog and a website, and you know, so you might start with a blog on a free blog on Weebly or Blogger or anything, and just start kind of talking about what you're writing, what books you've published this week on Amazon, include links to Amazon for the books that are published. And then once you're starting to get some traffic and you're tracking your traffic and things, then think about utilising the testing strategy where you might publish your book on Amazon but not enroll it and put it on your website and see what the responses you get from that. And obviously you want to be collecting email lists and things like that off the back of that, which I'll talk about in a future video because that's a whole nother kind of ball game. But you're going to be collecting email addresses from your books and from your blog or your website. It may be a Facebook group that you utilise, and when you have that, obviously you can send emails out and say, oh, I've released a new book, would you like to buy this? This is the link to my website where you can buy it. So basically, once your pen name, if you're using a pen name, or your own name if you're using your own name on your books, has got a little bit more established, and you've got people looking for you, and you've got people searching for you, you've got traffic to your blog, then it might be worthwhile not enrolling in KDP Select and just utilising your website to sell extra books. But until you've got that audience in place, KDP Select is obviously a really good option. Obviously there are some other benefits of KDP Select, and I still utilise KDP Select for most of my books. But obviously you get your free promotion period or your countdown deals, so whichever you choose to do. And that for me, as soon as I publish a book, I put it on free promotion for a day, and then every time it drops below 100,000 rank, I put it on free promotion again and give it a bit of a boost in the rankings. And so I find that really useful as a promotional tool. But what I feel is, and I don't know if this is right because obviously I don't know how Amazon's algorithms worked, but what I've found is that my books that are enrolled in KDP Select tend to do slightly better than the books that are not enrolled in KDP Select. And what I believe this is when somebody borrows a book, I think that helps in the books ranking for paid, for paid as well. Obviously, if you rank them better, you're going to get more paid sales as well. And so for me, that kind of extra boost is definitely worth it. But again, it's something that's like, it's not right for everybody. I mean, if it's right for me and it works for my business model, that's one thing, but it might not suit your business model. You might already have an audience, so in which case you might be able to utilize that audience from your website to sell more books than what you would get paid from being enrolled in KDP Select. So very much is just a case about testing out the market, testing out your books, test out the Barnes & Noble's platform, test out a website, spend some time building an audience. Once you've got your own audience, you've got, obviously Kindle platform's amazing and it's the biggest platform out there for Kindle books. But once you have your own audience, you've got people who you can email when your new book comes out, which will give it a boost in the rankings instead of doing a free promotion. So you might be able to utilize that. And it's just a case of doing some tests and finding out kind of what's best for you and looking at your own business and seeing kind of what's going to work in with your strategies and your systems. But definitely for now, at least if you're just beginning or you haven't got an audience yet, then I feel that KDP Select's a good way to be on, especially to give your books a boost and things like that when you're first starting out. And then once you've grown an audience, then kind of look at, is it worth still doing? So I hope this has been of some help, guys. Feel free to comment below. Any questions, anything, I'll try my best to answer. You can connect with me on Facebook, here on the YouTube channel, or on the blog, which is tycoonfactory.com. And I shall see you soon, guys.